Alright folks, welcome back everyone. We are on to our 11th prompt of Inktober. Hopefully getting a double prompt, working on double prompt today. Yesterday's prompt was Sting. Sting was the prompt. Gonna go with the old reliable stuff today. Try to keep it reasonable. So when I think of Sting, there can only be a one. Hopefully this one. Make the face a little bit doughy, like kind of getting a better feel of how to squish our subject now. Hmm. Let's see. Uh There we go. All right. I'm gonna start with very smooth things first. Trying to get my form down. Okay. Hmm. Okay. All right. I'll worry about the line art later and try to be vigilant. Trust the process, right? Okay. All right. Gonna do some watercoloring. Yeah, so let's quickly throw a background onto the stuff. I think I've gotten pretty okay at doing this. So let's start with that's a little, that's a, maybe that's a little too, oh, that's a little too dark. Maybe like here. That looks pretty good. Okay. And then what happened? Okay. Maybe do a little. No. Or maybe that's that's not the brush done. Probably this one. Yeah. Okay. And then Okay. Put up some clouds. That's pretty good. Let's I think this time we're gonna go with whoa. That's definitely a lot lighter. Okay. Okay. Uh, actually, maybe I just use the same thing and okay. Okay. Um. We're gonna work with that, right? That's probably what we're gonna work with. That should be good enough. Oops. Alright. So let's get to doing this. I think I'm just gonna play it off by eye today. Actually, probably the first thing to do. Oh. Oh, I wonder if I can hold. No, that's not how that works. That is not how that works. What? That's fine. Okay. Blocking it with one color and then going back with the other is probably quicker. That's okay though. It's fine. This is cathartic. That's a little bright here. I have a bit of the munchies today. My hand's kind of shaking from lack of substance. All right, so we got the color block in. Let's start. Okay. Actually. Alright, so let's make him look less like a goofball. Okay, so do a little here too. Alright, so kind of gonna rely on our typical strategy, right? Uh let's first start with Interesting. Huh. Where do I go with? I go with the one side? Hold up. Let's do... Actually, different idea. Okay. Dark enough. Ugh. Hmm. Oh my goodness. Your eyes are really lopsided. We'll fix that later. Uh, we'll fix that in a bit. Yep, I'll fix that in a bit. Oh boy. Time is it? Okay. Keep doing that. Stop. That's actually interesting. Hmm. Alright. Now let's go in and fix stuff. What? Oh. Okay. Could make the... And then I can just redo... Okay. And then I could do the... Void of Darkness. Okay. Alright. What happened? Oh. Okay. Uh... Oops. Okay. Alright. Now... Go in and how much time do we have? Okay. Now we do some detail work, then call it a day. Oh. Dang it. This is probably the hardest part. I have like a death grip on my pen. Okay. Alright. Now we do a little bit of other things. Hmm. Uh, No black ones. I'll do the blacks. White. Alright. Now we have to do the background, right? Hey, so some light. Some light TLC, and then we move on to our next prompt. It'll all make sense in a bit. I still have some work to do on how to do this part even quicker by intuitively lifting my pen a little bit to lower the density of the strokes as I'm going through. I can save time. Like, I should have made some of those bushes lighter strokes and heavier strokes. So lighter strokes as I'm going through. I wanted these lighter strokes to be lighter, and then the closer ones to be darker. So instead, to counter that, I'm going to probably go through them again, but emphasize the darker ones forward. Maybe next time. How did I come up with this idea? You kind of fill it, you know? That's what you do. That's what art does, right? You kind of fill it out. This is my own, like, I guess, how do I say it? It's kind of like my own style over the years. Now I'm gonna try to do it by controlling my hand a little. Maybe more like this. So I'm trying to keep like smooth lines for the count. You remind you of B Mario? Yeah, me too. I think that's unintentional though, since I'm not a Nintendo person, but that is what it reminds me of. Alternatively, I could do it the backwards. Start with light strokes and then gain heaviness. Experimenting. Obviously experimenting right now. Definitely can be better. But this is my favorite part of the drawing process, just to add details. And obviously I'm not doing like realistic things. I don't really do realistic things. Not that I don't want to in the future, but very detailed. Yeah, the last part is usually the easy. Like the last part is the most exciting part because you wanna. The idea is you want to get enough so that people can, you know, whoever's looking at it can relate, right? Enough to get the idea, but then the rest is people. I've been talking about this so many times recently about like AI and the whole, is art going to replace AI, and I mean, is AI going to replace art and all that? So that's been the last, like, kind of a lot of conversations before recently. And this very last step is the reason why I don't think it's going to happen, right? Like, most of this stuff is not supposed to make sense. It's supposed to, like, capture how I see the world. So that's kind of the idea. I break certain lines down that aren't supposed to be there, so it's not. Some reels, some not, you know? Just the way it goes. I don't want little something. We need to add a little bit more vibrant to the background. This is color adjustment. Near the end is color adjustment. So I always leave something in the back for color adjustment. I need something that is a little bit more noisier. And then need and then such a cure to see your drawing every time. Is that the word? Is that the word you're going for? I'm not sure. Alright, so now we have to ground things. So we have to put our character in the scene. Still a little bit more to do. Just a little bit of touch here, and that should be good enough. Oh, or healed. Ah, okay. So there's something therapeutic, right? You're looking. I think drawing is very therapeutic. I think people should do some of it when they can. They definitely need to try doing it a bit. Now we're gonna do maybe like a bounce. Probably like a dark bounce. Feel like I'm gonna put it underneath. Or we just take it down a little. This is to increase the contrast. We're basically trying to increase the contrast a little, to make it a little dramatic. And this is probably gonna need a little dramatic too. Oh. Okay. Don't worry about it. I'll come together. I don't think I need that aggressive. I'll just ground these things right now. No, it's fine. You do design? Oh yeah, designing is good. Yeah, designing works. Same deal. Same deal. Basically what I was trying to say is a creative process, right? Engaging in a creative process is very therapeutic. This is how I ground most of the things, so it looks like it's belonging in the same place. Okay. It's an interesting look. It's an interesting look, I would have to say. But it's kind of my look. What purity were you talk about? I can't find the word. Catharsis? Or therapeutic. Sorry, therapeutic. Like healing. Very therapeutic. Yeah, that is. Let's do one last thing. So Yeah, yeah. That's the word I usually lean on. Or catharsis. Catharsis is the other word. Something that it's very protective or healing in a way. Makes you feel very comfy. Like I can go on and keep doing this for a really long time. But artwork is, in my opinion, most creative things aren't ever completed. So we just move on. Because I have to do a second piece today. So we gotta move on from this. Now I do my customary... my customary things. Right, the idea of AI would be something like, well, I'm pretty sure people wouldn't do this. Is kind of like it's kind of a mix and mesh of so many things. I don't know if that's attractive or not. But when you're thinking about like statistical averages, you know how models work. I think the idea is that they would have a consistent outcome, and I don't think it would be something like this. It wouldn't look like something like this, at least I think. Not yet, anyways. My artwork is so inconsistent. It would be pretty impressive if I place, like, I take a model and jam it with all my artwork, that it would find some consistent patterns. Because I don't do artwork consistently. All my pieces are very different. It's just whatever I feel. They're definitely like I'm trying to be consistent, basically, with like certain things. This is probably the most consistent thing, which is the theme for this year. I made sure the theme for this year was consistent. Or the meta theme. The prompts are not, obviously, so they kind of challenged me to do something different and do something the same. Yesterday I met someone new who asked me a question like, how did I learn how to, where and how did I learn how to draw or like do artwork? And I didn't have the greatest answer because I didn't really think about it yet. And my answer was, I just do it. So when I do it, you find out, right? You go and find out. But the thing is, I don't do that all the time for just about anything. I actually very rarely do anything by winging it, like completely winging it. I'm usually the guy that would say something like, oh, always be aware, you know, have some awareness of what you're doing. So when you're aware of what you're doing, you can improve upon it and reflect on it. But for artwork, it was inspired by someone else. And most of the things that are inspired by someone else, I wing it. And therefore, it also means that I have problems explaining. Oh, what? The heck? Did I not copy this? I did copy this. Oh. Yeah, definitely have no explainers. This is more of a feel. This is probably the most feely thing I do in the year. I feel like communication has sort of been more about feelies now. However, this is probably the most intuitive thing that I do in the year ever. So since I rely so much on intuition, it brings me closer to the human experience, like how other people go about their stuff. I feel like the majority of people either use repetition or intuition to do things, and I don't usually use repetition or intuition to do things. Oh, it's a shame the tree isn't gonna make it in there, huh? That's okay. I put time into that tree. I should have pushed a little bit further, but that's okay. Stinger. Oh no. I don't know what I'm gonna use for sting. Pierce? I could use pierce. Sting is probably the same as pierce. So, right? And sasu. Sasu and tsu. That's probably the character we're looking for. Sa. Yeah, sa and tsu. Alright. Let's do that. Yeah, that one. Yes. Sasu. That's it. Let's go, and what color do I do for complimenting? Oh, we have to do polka dots, right? Oh, we could do stripes. Nah, we gotta do black and yellow and black polka dots. So I guess we're going with a yellow theme. That feels more adorable. Which one is that? Yes or no? Which one is that? Like, the prompt is sting. So is there, or is that like, I don't actually know what that means. What's the intrinsic meaning of that character? You're gonna have to explain it to me because I'm not sure. Before I start writing this character. Oh no, wait! I don't have to start writing this character. I can do the rest of my frame first. We say oh, for the stinging to be stung. Okay, I see. Yeah, but this is a combination of Japanese and Chinese. So what does that mean in Japanese? I thought you were going to tell me what that means in Japanese. Hang on, let me put it in the... Yeah, there's nothing for Japanese. Courtesy? Yeah, no. I'm gonna stick with sa, but I don't think it works in Japanese. It's not solely Chinese thing. Or like what I mean is I don't know how to say sting in Japanese using that character. I'm not entirely sure. Let me see if there's something close to it. To pierce? No. Shimiru. Shimiru is not that. Cool. That's weird. Mushi? Oh, that's funny. The insect bite uses mushi sasare. Yeah. I'm gonna take that under advisement, but we're gonna stick with the original thought because I don't actually know what that means in Japanese. Let's see. Are we doing white or are we doing black? We're definitely doing yellow. Then we're doing black text. Yeah. Just put it's understandable. We're both. Yeah, that was the idea. That's the point. That's the intent. I'm communicating what I mean by my choice. So it's adorable because both Japanese and Chinese people understand that means something that deals with piercing or stabbing or stinging. That's why I originally picked it. I understand that you were talking about Chinese, but you also are learning Japanese, you know? Learned it? Yeah. I actually haven't, but now I know, and I look forward to it. I'm gonna use a straight edge for this. Oh no, I have to freehand something. Actually, does that look okay if I... We don't have to deal with these semantics because could always do something different. I gotta freehand one thing. Oh boy. Oh. It's good enough. Oh no, I wrote it on the wrong layer. That's what happens. You know what? Let's just freehand this. Good enough. I did it again! Oh my... Digital artwork. I thought I created a new layer. I swear. I did it again. Heck. It's fine. It's kind of crooked. It's this is what happens when you use up all the time doing line art. This is what happens when you, like, when you start drawing, when people start drawing, the first thing they do is, one of the first things they do is they keep drawing the lines over and over again until it looks perfect. And in the end of the day, It's all the little slight imperfections and things that you use to your advantage that makes the piece look interesting. But it doesn't apply to text. Text is a nightmare. uh how am I gonna do this? I guess we're just gonna put a white, make it look white instead. No, we're gonna do something else. It's fine. It's fine. Actually, you're drawing when writing? Both. They're one and the same. Writing when drawing and drawing when writing, actually. From my perspective. They're not different from each other. That's kind of the wonderful thing about wanting to draw. And then now we need to... Yeah, no particular order. I know you said you're drawing when writing. I'm also drawing when I'm writing as well. Like when I'm writing, when I'm drawing. Both ways. Like here, like these lines and stuff, that's me imagining writing instead of drawing. Like this stuff here, right here, it has a flow to it. Writing has a flow to it a lot of times. Drawing doesn't have to have a flow, like it could be chaotic. The reason why I like kanji and hanzi, there's no redo when you're writing. Yes, there is. You write it again. There's always redo. You're talking about there's no undo. Redo is a very different situation, and there is still undo in writing. You write over it. I've done it before. So when you're drawing, right? When you're writing, this is a good example. I disagree with you fundamentally. So when you're writing like this, right? When you're writing like this, say you don't like it, right? You can use a different color. And redo it. And again. And again. This is what digital art mind tells me. In your head, in your mind, you're doing it again and again and again. So one of the things that I feel that I tell people a lot of time is how consistent you are. Like how often you do things, how much you practice things, not finite. So a lot of my art is not because I use undo. It's because I wrote over it. So like all of this stuff, they are layered. And that's what I mean by when I'm writing, I'm also drawing. And when I'm drawing, I'm also writing. Because you can practice in many different ways that show your progress. But when you think about when undo and redo, undo, I agree. That's why I try not to undo as much. When you undo something, you don't see it anymore, right? You don't see it anymore. In writing, people tend to see it, but I don't think it has the same effect. When writing, you're talking, people don't treat writing like drawing, because when they see this, they say this is good enough. But when they're drawing, when they're drawing, this might not be good enough, so they redo it or undo it. And that to me tells me how people view their behavior with drawing and writing. The reason why a lot of people stop drawing or never draw is because it's never good enough. So they don't want to start drawing because they picture things, they want things to be perfect or have to be good enough to be shown. Alternatively, I mean, ironically or coincidentally, one of the biggest advice or the most common advice among like professionals, like I'm not a professional artist, right? I agree with them though, is that you paint something and you keep working on it and you just keep working on it. And what happens is you have a history of all the things you've done on the canvas. Now you might be thinking, well, didn't you do a lot of things? I did. So digital art has a really wonderful thing where you can show what you've done beforehand. So I don't actually undo my things. I hide them. So here, let me show you the original the original sketch of where it started. I mean, I record things. It actually looked worse than this. So I not only do not undo my work, I record everything. So I can't undo it. Everything is posted. So even if I undo something, it is recorded for my benefit. So I've never really done anything that is gone. It's always captured. So writing to me is like drawing and vice versa, as with most things. So the vast majority of things are not done. This is actually what it started with. That's what it looks like. All I had was this. I scribbled around and I warped the thing. And then now it looks like this. So that's kind of why things are awesome. I love artwork. Yeah. Like you can see all the layers in the digital art. Now, in real art, when someone says real art, right, like traditional art, you might not be able to see that. And that's one of the things that people like about like traditional art, which is when you paint something, you can't like undo it. You can't just take it back, but you can paint over it. And that's how I treat digital art. Digital art captures that too. The difference is you can choose to show some of it or all of it, and I keep all of it. Thanks to technology, obviously. Back in the day, this whole like thing with digital art and layering and coming up with a system and stuff, that didn't quite exist. But I only started really doing artwork 4 years ago. It's a fun trip down memory lane. What does your design, do you undo your design? I imagine when you're designing something, That's where you're getting the idea of drawing and writing, the contrast between drawing and writing and no undo button. I think that makes sense. Totally got you. Undo a stroke of kanji feels weird for you though. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, that's understandable. I don't think so. To me, that just screams like someone who's not used to drawing things. So like would the very nature of being able to find exactly where your flow is and where the cutoff is. So for example, when you're doing this motion, to me illustrates that you view the whole thing, you view the world, like the kanji, right? If you're doing this kanji, you view this as one thing. And that's interesting. That means this is writing, right? In my opinion, that's what writing is. When you see this as two different things, it's no longer weird. Right? So you can view art in that way. When you see an apple, do you see one thing or do you see many things? So, right, the apple has this part in it. It also has this part. It also has this part. And it also has this part. It may also have a shimmer. It has skin texture. Right? So all of the things, then eventually you have to populate all things in the drawing. But if you're drawing an apple and you're saying, what is the greatest, easiest way to draw an apple? You can probably just... And it'd be one stroke, right? You don't have to lift up your finger or anything like that. So, to me, I understand. I can definitely understand why it's weird if everything is put together in one way. Kind of like Legos, right? Kind of like Legos. I think drawing helps one appreciate the separate things and then putting together the things as well. So you can see the world as different pieces or as a whole. And that's really fun to do. It's kind of like imagining your life as months versus imagining your life as days. The days make up the months. So the strokes make up the kanji. It's kind of like the radicals, right? The radicals make up the characters, etc. And you can do both. So it no longer feels weird to do both. So you can like do this and then you can immediately see that it's two different things, because this could be a slide standing alone because you practice drawing, you practice this stroke and you practice this stroke too, which makes writing and drawing the same thing for me. It's pretty interesting. I think this philosophical discussion would be a great way to encourage people to learn to pick up drawing and artwork or design or something, and then also be interested in Hanzi, kanji, and whatnot, like characters. It works for the brain in both conceptual and visual things. I don't know if you do this with music, Jiao. Do you ever do this with music? So when I hear music, oftentimes it's fun to hear one track. So you hear one track, focus on one track, then you focus on another track, and then you focus on another track. and then you try to focus on 2 of the tracks together in harmony, and then find the tracks that are dissonance, but this is all one track. So that's another example of drawing versus writing. When you think of music, do you think of a song or a composition? If you think of it as a song, then it's one thing. Use everything, part, yeah, use to everything, part to whole. Okay, yeah. They're not, they feel the same, but they're not the same. I'm gonna be, like, I don't want to gaslight you into anything unintentional. These things are different because they have different words. So writing is different from drawing. The thing about doing both makes it so that you see the connection between the two. And that's kind of nice. It's one of those things, like, less things feel weird, but I kind of like feeling weird. I don't know if you like feeling weird every once in a while. So when I'm drawing most of my pieces, some part of the piece is going to feel weird. Like, for example, I really want to... Yeah, you learned that recently. You're trying to differentiate tracks. Ah, yeah. Differentiating tracks is a lot of fun. I enjoy saying, like, can you hear the bass line, right? Can you hear the bass line? The more I look at this character, I'm gonna redo this character now. And I'm gonna do it a different way. We're gonna use a line tool and imagine the whole thing as sharp edges, just for fun. So here's another way to look at the kanji, or the kanzi. You can view it as, you can stylize it. I don't know how often you stylize things, but I do enjoy doing stylizations. So here's a stylization, I would say. So you just use straight edges the whole time. Like this. And then we do this. And just do a right corner. That could trigger some, bass always be the most tough one. It really is. Baseline is like the one that I typically refer to, because if you can pick up the bass line, it overlaps with the treble a lot of times because it's accenting and complementing the treble. I think this one's okay. This one looks fine too. There's something really nice about a straight edge. Although the middle part is kind of chonky, but we're not going to redo it again. I got to move on to my next prompt. All right. And let's add some decorations. Okay. I like the idea of black polka dots, so we're probably going to do polka dots by using a screen tone. Kind of like yesterday's. Oh yeah, I'm feeling the screen tone. We'll do it diagonally. Like this. I'm doing it this way. The lighter circles are going to be this direction. Because they're like B stripes. We're doing like B stripes, basically. I'm going to make them darker as we get down here. and lighter up here. Okay. Then we're gonna do some manual stuff. Wait. You can totally design things with me if you want. Yeah, you can totally take the prompts and then design things with the prompts, you know? Design a stinger, like some sort of stinger. That'd be kind of fun. I did one of the Gecko mentioned about possibly doing it with this experimentation with music. Something very beautiful about lines, especially lines in a specific direction. I would love to see something in the future that you made. Okay. Alright. Let's do this. Yeah, I figure I put in a lot of different lines. So that's one of my things that I feel artists I like listening to artists talk about things because, like, for example, I don't know if when someone looks at something that I've made, right, and they are like, oh yeah, that explains that. Like, for example, I can explain things. Why did I use lines here, right? Like these specific lines. Because they are very pointy. And then why did I use stripes? Because bumblebees have stripes, although they technically don't. Well, just like their tail has it. But what do you mean design with prompts? So Inktober has prompts. That's what Inktober is. So each day, if you type in Inktober 2025, there's a prompt. Every single day, there's like a word that you're supposed to use, and then you can design things around. The idea is it has to have something to do with it. So this prompt, it had to have something to do with sting. That's all it has to do. And then I decided to do something that it must have as well on top of that. So it can be any way you do it. The idea is to encourage people to be creative about it. I think we're just gonna remove art, brighten out the stuff. Whoops. One thing's really bittersweet about all of this is, or kind of bittersweet, the one thing that people talk about all the time, and it's constantly starting anew. Starting all that stuff anew, right? Okay. The border became a lot brighter than the actual piece, so that's kind of interesting. All right. I tried a bunch of things. We tried a bunch of things today. Some of it was pretty good. Some of it was kind of all right. And then some of it was not that great. All right. So what is this? Yeah. Day 11. Day 11. Today we actually started this on the 12th. Sting. Is that how you spell Sting? Well, that's how I spell Sting now. All right. So that's one down. We have 3 hours to do the next one. This took about 3 hours. I'm gonna take a break beforehand though. Very adorable. Very, very adorable. I was gonna make him pudgier. That's actually, I gotta remember to save this. There was one time I forgot to save. Or, yeah, talk about those nightmare situations. Oh, wait. Yeah, today's the 12th, right? It's actually almost the 13th. Or it is the 13th now. Yeah, by a little bit. Okie dokie. So, I'm going to take a quick break and come back for today's prompt, the 12th, even though it's the 13th now, to make up for the one prompt I skipped because I was busy yapping, having fun. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna go stretch, get some sugar, maybe some glucose, and prime for the last one of the day. Be right back. Thank you.